thank you for joining today's Lean Bites. I'm Jason Buck, one of the business development directors here at Lean Techniques. If this is your first time, welcome. Lean Bites are a short 16-minute talk where our experts will provide simple, practical tips and techniques that you can start applying within your organization or team today. So before we get started, if you have any questions throughout today's talk, just feel free to drop them in the chat, but we'll also have time to address them at the end. We'll open it up at that point too. And number two, speaking of the end, if you could do us a huge favor, a survey will pop up automatically once you leave the Zoom. If you could fill that out and give us some feedback, we'd really appreciate it. It helps us out with future Lean Bites and topics and just making sure that we're doing an overall great job. So yeah. But unlike the weather, one thing that is not changing anytime soon is AI and its implementation. So I'm excited to introduce Jodi Jones. She's a staff product manager here at LT, and she's going to be taking us through real ways she is using AI to accelerate product management work. So Jodi, take it away.
Excellent. Thank you, Jason. Hi, everyone. As Jason said, today I'm going to be sharing with you real ways that I'm using AI in my product management work. These are going to be practical examples that actually save me time, reduce cognitive load, and help me focus on what really matters. As PMs, we get pulled in a lot of different directions. We get pulled into strategy conversations, roadmap conversations, managing delivery, data, decisions. And at the heart of it all, our job is about people, the customers we serve, the teams, the stakeholders, and building products that really make an impact. So today, I'm going to walk us through the product management life cycle, and we're going to walk through all these phases, and I'm going to share a story for each one on how I've used AI. And each of these stories I'm going to share is from real work, so you can see what's practical and give you some ideas that you can take with you and try out after. So let's get started. I recently stepped into a PM role, a product manager role for a new product. And we had some constraints handed our way. These were some pretty big constraints. We had an objective to deliver a new product to the market. The timeline was set, and it was very aggressive. The architecture was also set. So you might be familiar with facing situations similar to this. We were up against some really big risks regarding feasibility, usability, value, and we needed to get started quickly, and we needed to be really clear about the product strategy, the outcomes we were going after, scope management, and how we were going to mitigate these risks. So one thing that was really important to us is getting alignment. And we needed alignment from inside the organization, executives, leadership, other product managers, teams, sales, marketing. We needed alignment outside the organization, distribution channels, customers, basically everyone. And so as the PM, my head started spinning with thoughts and ideas, and I was staring at a blank page or a Miro template, wondering, like, how am I going to get started to make progress and align this product direction? So I used AI in this situation. I turned my notes and my thoughts from a few early conversations into a first draft of a product strategy and a product requirements document. So out here, I was outlining objectives, mission, audience segment, release options. And what was it perfect? Was AI perfect? But no, it wasn't. But it got me started. It gave me a structure I could use, refine, and start socializing. It helped me clarify my thinking. And once I had that, I was able to spend my time where it mattered the most, which was aligning all of these people to the strategy we had set out. The takeaway for me here was AI didn't set the strategy. It didn't decide the approach. It just gave me a fast, structured starting point with the ideas, and then I could work with it from there. Next, I needed to understand how our competitors were positioning a similar product. And I wanted a good picture. Like, did they already have a similar product? Were there features and use cases? What were they messaging? Were customers actually using the competitor's product? And I needed to know how our product was going to measure up and how we could create a competitive advantage. So I turned to AI and I asked it to do some research to find competitor products, highlight the patterns that it saw. Who were they targeting? What features did they offer? How did they create the market appeal? And what I learned was this isn't a replacement for doing your own competitor research. In fact, this is one time I learned, the lesson about uh, tell your AI to not make anything up because it made some things up. But I found that out through testing everything that it gave me back. But what AI did help me do was spot themes right away. And instead of guessing, I was able to go into conversations already seeing what the product landscape looked like. And we could then move faster based on that, on our positioning and the direction that we wanted to take the product. So the takeaway for me here was like AI wasn't going to replace the research I needed to do, but it accelerated my understanding and it helped me guide better conversations that were setting the product direction. Once we had our competitive landscape, next we went on the road to visit some distribution partners and customers, and we started doing an in-depth customer discovery. Like most product managers are familiar with this process. We were conducting hours of prototype testing, user interviews. We were on the road. We were going to where the work was getting done, where our product was going to be put to the test in the hands of our users. And after this round of customer discovery, we had pages and pages and pages of notes, detailed notes that really was going to be overwhelming to comb through. We had really great quotes. We had real customer stories. We had some validation of our ideas. We had some things that just didn't land. And we were tired and we were excited. But we had to turn all of this information into insights that our team could use to act upon. And I also needed to socialize these insights, like what we learned, with everyone. All of those stakeholders, all of those leaders, all of those executives, our teams. We had to share what we learned from the customer visits. And so one thing that I turned to here was I turned to AI and I asked it to help me make sense of it. So look through the notes that we have, pull out themes, pull out pain points, key quotes. Maybe you have a customer insights database or a different feedback tool collection mechanism at your organization that you can use. There will be insights in there. Within a couple hours, we had a clean summary that was refined. We tweak it, of course. You always have to tweak the outputs you get. But we were able to take something that would have taken us plenty of time, maybe a week or so, to pull out all of our insights. We were able to get this pulled together very quickly and within a day turn that around to something that we could share out. And we were already moving towards communicating what mattered after that visit. We eliminated like our personal bias, how we felt coming out of those visits. And we turned the conversation to like, what should we do next? And where are the bigger opportunities for a strategic advantage? For me, the takeaway here was how AI accelerated how we surface insights and how we make them easier for others to see and use. So we've got our product strategy, we've got our competitive landscape, we have customer insights, and remember, we are facing these constraints I laid out above. And our team is starting to move into execution now. And I found myself spending lots and lots of time in meetings, syncing up with other product managers, sharing with our stakeholders, our leaders, our project sponsors. I was reporting progress, was answering questions, same questions. And I'm sure some of you have been in a similar type of meeting. You find your calendar full of these types of activities. And I wanted to find a better way to provide those updates that kept everyone aligned. And I didn't want to add more meetings and I didn't want to add more emails. So I used AI to help me with this. I would provide AI with my notes from the week, maybe information I heard at the demo, what work was completed on our JIRA board, our roadmap, the risks we were facing, and I would ask it to help me draft a clear update. You know, what did we deliver? What's next? What's at risk? And use plain language that anyone could follow. And again, this was not perfect, but it got me 80% of the way there. And that would free me up to have the conversations about priorities, feedback, impact, decisions, trade-offs. I wasn't just reporting status anymore. So for me, the takeaway here was that AI didn't replace the conversations I needed to have, but it gave me time back so that I could spend my time aligning our stakeholders and our organization and our teams. Now that we're reporting out, making progress, we're heading forward. Our team is starting to move very quickly. And I didn't want to slow the team down with heavy stories or long planning sessions or tedious refinement sessions. And I can guess that most of you have been in meetings like that as well. I didn't want to lose clarity on like the problem we were solving, who we were solving it for. And so I turned to AI to help me with story writing. And I did this in a very intentional way. I taught AI my principles, the way we wanted, as a team, we wanted our stories written. So we codified those patterns. And so the AI understands our structure. And when I needed a new story, all I needed to do was tell it the problem or the goal, and it would share me a draft of stories. And I kind of put in the slide here what our stories look like. They're pretty simple. What's the problem? Why are we solving it? Who's affected by this? And what is our acceptance criteria? The goal here wasn't to get a perfectly documented story. It was still a placeholder for a conversation. It just helped us move quicker in this regard. One of our teams is currently exploring what we're calling an AI story linter. So similar to a code linter, but it's going to do the checking against your stories to your team standards. So here, my takeaway was AI didn't replace the conversations we needed to have, but it gave us a good start on having the right ones. And I'm watching time here. I think we just have a couple minutes left here. So a quick summary here. These are real ways that AI is helping me work faster and smarter. It's not a replacement for thinking. It's not a replacement for the hard work that we do when we build products. Each one of these areas has given me time back in my day to focus on what really moves things forward with product management. AI isn't running the show. It's just accelerating the work. And the impact that we deliver to our customers and our organizations still comes from the work that we do every day. Thank you so much for listening to my talk. I love sharing these ideas, and I would love to hear what you all are doing in this space as well. So there's a link on here. You can get the slides. We can connect on LinkedIn. And if you want to have a further conversation on this topic, there is also a way to schedule time on my calendar with me, or we can get connected and further the conversation. So
Perfect.
back to you, Jason.
Thank you so much, Jodi. I'll speak for almost everyone in here when I say you had me at less meetings. Very good. Well, thank you so much, Jodi. I know that it's a hot topic, and especially in helping yourself out, which can actually help your teams out as well. So that was great. The next Lean Bites will be first week in November, and we are currently deciphering the multiple different solutions or topics that we're going to have for that one. So stay tuned on that. These slides will be emailed out as well. So, but feel free to reach out to us or Jodi if you have any other questions. And with that, we will say thank you, and we will see you next month. Thanks so much.
Thank you all.